North Americans want to move to Italy. Italians want to move to North America. So let's compare the two. I'm in a unique position because I lived for a very long time both in Italy and North America. When it comes to job opportunities and salaries, it's not a matter of opinion. We can quantify this. The USA has the best salaries and opportunities, followed by Canada, with Italy in a distant third. In Italy, people often live on something like 1,200 or 1,500 euro a month. In my field, which is tech, specifically AI, North American salaries range from like 150 to 300K and even higher. That's practically science fiction in Italy. Likewise, for entrepreneurship, the USA takes the top spot. Canada is a distant second, and Italy, once again, is a distant third. In Italy, there's a certain cultural resistance to entrepreneurs due to the posto fisso mentality, where a secure, stable job is valued. Entrepreneurs are often seen as exploiting workers and are also taxed quite heavily. Even if you're financially successful with a company, not having a traditional job can hinder your ability to buy a house, for example. The USA also ranks first in terms of bureaucracy, in the sense that they have the least amount. Canada has its fair share, but in my experience is generally more efficient. In Italy, bureaucracy can be absolute madness. You often find yourself in Kafkaesque situations where you're sent in circles from office to office. I realize that Italy is taking a beating so far, but don't worry, its strengths are going to be shown soon. When it comes to cost of living, Italy takes the lead. It's cheaper than both the US and Canada. Canada ranks last year, with the cost of living being completely out of control at the moment. Everything is extremely expensive for no clear reason. The USA has certainly some expensive cities, but overall it's much more reasonable. Related to that is housing. Canada's housing market is insane. In most cities, you need about $1 million for a decent home and 600K for a condo. The USA is of course better, but still more expensive than Italy. For healthcare, I have to place Italy first because it offers free healthcare, which is occasionally inefficient, but it also offers private healthcare that's affordable and quite efficient. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. And it's objectively one of the best systems in the world according to most rankings. The USA has incredibly expensive healthcare, though it's really high quality. So if you can afford it, or if your insurance doesn't deny your claim, you're going to get a very high level of care. Canada, on the other hand, it pains me to say it's really struggling with healthcare issues. There are millions of people who don't have a family doctor, and specialist appointments or special tests like CT scans and things like that can take many months. If you're lucky enough to have a doctor, they often limit your visit to one issue at a time. It's okay for acute care. You get a heart attack, they'll save you, but they don't do a very good job when it comes to preventative care and all of that. Socializing and making friends is really important to me, and I might say that I'm biased because I was born and raised in Italy, but Italians are a lot more social and open to friendships. When people say, let's get together in Italy, they actually mean it. There's a real culture of visiting and socializing over coffee. You'll come to my place, have coffee with me, things like that. In Canada, people are very polite, but also much more reserved, introverted. So making friends with strangers isn't really a common thing. In the USA, people kind of split the difference. I'd say they're more direct, maybe even curt than Canadians, but they're also a little bit more open to new friendships in my experience. So I call it a tie between the USA and Canada for second place. In terms of cultural experiences, in my opinion, Italy wins by a mile. The USA is huge and has a lot of offer culturally, but due to its size, it isn't really as accessible. In Italy, you're always a 2-hour drive away from, at worst, from lots of art, from UNESCO sites, festivals, history, you name it. Canada is kind of the worst of both worlds in the sense that it doesn't have as much as the US to offer, and its distances are even greater than the US ones. As for things to do, Italy once again ranks first in my opinion. Everything is nearby, and if there is nothing local, one of those cheap flights will get you to another city or even another European country, European capital. So there's always something to do very close by, relatively speaking. The USA has plenty going on, of course, but since things are, again, very spread out, there isn't as much that you can do locally, even though there are, of course, thriving communities. Canada is stunning. It's beautiful. It's perfect for nature lovers, and there's quite a bit to do if you love the outdoors. However, other than that, it is very much penalized by its vast distances, smaller population than the US, and extreme winter weather as well. When it comes to safety, I would say Italy and Canada rank equally well, but the USA unfortunately has higher crime rates. Of course, this depends on the specific city or region that you are in, but overall, Italy and Canada are both roughly equally safe, and they are quite safe. As for taxes, the USA has relatively moderate taxes, Canada has high taxes, and Italy's taxes are just insane. Taxation and bureaucracy are two of Italy's biggest problems, in my opinion. The tax burden is extreme, approaching 50% of your income, and as a result, Italy has one of the highest rates of tax evasion in Europe. On the other hand, Italy ranks first for food, arguably. The USA and Canada have plenty of variety, but in terms of actual quality and taste, I think Italy is unmatched. The USA beats Canada here, I think, mostly because it has almost 10 times the amount of people, and so there's a greater amount of variety, and they're also closer to South America, which is of course a positive influence when it comes to food. Not just South America, but also Central America and of course Mexico in North America. Finally, let's talk about weather. Italy, especially the center and south, has fantastic weather. The USA is kind of hit or miss. There are some areas with great weather, but also areas with terrible weather. And Canada, with its brutal winters and hot summers, I would say has the worst weather of them all. So there you have it. This is just my opinion, of course. Feel free to let me know what you think I got right or wrong in the comments, and whether you're considering a move to Italy, or conversely, if you're in Italy and you're considering a move to North America.